この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I'm here for Bakemonogatari episode 11 and 12. So, some people on my Discord have let me know that this next arc is the entire rest of the show, or of the season. So, next 5 episodes are all one arc, and that's kind of a lot to do in one video. Just kinda. So they also told me that they would be totally cool if I split it into 11 and 12 and then 13, 14, 15. So I think that's what I'm going to do because 5 is a lot for one video. And 2 seems reasonable, and then we get to split up the arc and everything is good. So this arc, I believe, is called Tsubasa Cat, and I believe it centers around Hanakawa. And I believe we saw her in the last arc hanging out at the library. And she said some interesting things, one of which was that she's started to get sudden headaches, the other of which was that she was not going home. And I'm not sure that I remember this completely correctly, because I skimmed through the episode and I couldn't quite find it. But when Aragi says something like, "Aren't you going home?" she says no, and then I believe he questions her further, like, "Oh, are you going to go and study at school?" And she's like, "Nope, not going to tell you anything." So that's a little mysterious. And interesting. Maybe the first symptoms of whatever she's dealing with. I assume that she's dealing with an oddity. Just a guess. Oh, other thing. I'm now using the ANE V4 modified subs because the other ANE subs that I had weren't as good, apparently. And these are better, apparently. So I hope these are better. I don't know. I don't know. We've jumped sub providers a few times now. Let me know which one you guys are most cool with. I think it'll be this one and I can just stick with it, so that should be good. In any case, we saved the snake girl, sort of, but there's still a snake out there in the world going after whoever cursed her. Yikes. And there was a bit of a conflict of it's not really a conflict, it's just a questioning of our main character's morals and mode of action, because Hanakawa and then later some other people question Aragi's willingness to sort of throw himself into danger and be too nice or too caring toward everyone. And I think that is a potential flaw that could be elaborated on and become pretty interesting for Aragi. His desire to help people, to insert himself into their lives and be there to save them from their problems, could cause him problems, and it could put strain on his relationship with Senjo Kahara. And I think that's the big thing that we're looking at here. Especially considering that everyone with an oddity he's run into at this point has been a cute girl. So it's a little bit of an issue. In any case, we've got all these things sort of on the stove. Let's see where they decide to apply the heat and what we end up getting for this next arc, for the setup for it. I don't know. I've got episode 11 up. It's at 0 seconds. There will be multiple versions of this reaction video. Picture-in-picture versions with the video up there will be in the description down there. Timer-based version on YouTube with discussion at the end or after each episode. And a beep-beep timer at the beginning of each episode for your syncing purposes, which will go right here. Flashback. And letterboxed. Cats. Oh. Oh. Okay. What did you give up to do that? Okay. That's admirable. Kitty cats. Lots of kitty cats. Fair enough. That seems eerily similar to her perspective on the conversation they had before in the library. I like this jazzy theme. Oh, we are going to address that. Oh. So she rationalizes her abuse? That's fucked. Yeah. But she sees herself as a burden. That's a lie. Given how nonchalant she is about the whole thing, that's definitely a lie. This was not the only time. Nowhere near it. You won't tell anybody. Fuck. Yeah, but like this is child abuse. Uh Anything, huh? Nothing strange about this. Nothing odd at all. Nope, totally normal. Okay, here we go. Fo- oh, okay. Not the angel you think I am. Okay. Optical illusion triangles, you can't tell which way they're spinning. Okay. Train stations on the limbs. Okay, that was a really unique start. Important person to me. I owe her. No, I owe her a lot. And unreadable. Fall and pressure. Okay. Why you so grinny? She is fast. All those boys love novels. Whoosh. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Nah. So what do you need help with? Pantsu. Or the thing she borrowed, right? Something about the snick? Hmm? Oh? Oh, she was there. Hmm. Yep. Okay. Hmm. Wow. Just wow. That's freaking amazing. That's freaking amazing. I love it. Whoosh. Ah. What? Bro? What are you doing? Has he lost control of his arm? You're protecting all the wrong things. Hmm. Hmm. Hi, Hanakawa. See ya. Okay. Relatively well. She lost all her memories of that time, right? Something like that. You're not so bad yourself. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Funny how. Let him. Hmm. Aw. Thanks. Is that so? Hmm. Oh, there's one of those headaches. Boom, out of nowhere. Hmm. She's barely holding it together. Is that when she had her first run in with an oddity? Seems like it. This is the theme that was used for the first episode flashback? Yeah. Ah. Ah. Ha. Meow. Oh, okay. Okay, so we heard about the repression. Yeah. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay, but stress over what? Family? A little bit? Squirming in the darkness. Oh my, we're going way back, huh? A secret outlet, huh? Okay. Okay. Long-term effects? Not good. Not good. One man, one woman. Parents? Uh-oh. She didn't have a name. Oh? Okay. But it's temporary. So, if it builds up again, for then. But it could be the start. Hmm. And she has no memories of that, right? A scaredy cat, eh? But you're a real cat. You really are too kind. Okay. Okay, let's watch this preview thing. Oh, hi. True. Mmm. Me either. Okay. Interesting start to an arc. I think this is the one that we have the most information about going in. Um as far as like there's little mystery as to what oddity could be taking place here cuz we're looking at the potential for a relapse of a previously dealt with oddity that wasn't completely and totally dealt with. This is something interesting because in the last arc we weren't able to completely and totally deal with the constrictor either. And so this is sort of a similar situation where there are ongoing ramifications, ongoing consequences of whatever steps were taken to deal with the oddity that continue to affect the people affected off into the future. But we've got a bunch of other information like these oddities usually are the result of something in the individual's personal life, often something secret. And finding out what it is often a big key to the mystery because we want to solve these things at the root at whatever life events and stuff are actually causing their strain or whatever is causing the oddity to manifest. And in this case, it's pretty clear from this opening scene. Once he asks her, once Araki asks her about the bandage, and she explains that her father hit her, and then goes on to justify that action, like as though she believes that she deserves it. Which is a bit of an issue. The kind of thing that causes a lot of strain and mental problem. And then if you repress that, that's a lot of emotion and a lot of a lot of unhappiness that is pushed down under. Especially if you want to keep up a shining facade of being, quote, a good girl, or as she says, just a normal girl. The OP is an interesting one, considering that most of it is these still frames of this woman who is supposed to represent Hanakawa. She's got the thing and the garb and everything. Then we've got these spinning prisms, which are interesting because they're optical illusions, right? You can't tell which way they're spinning. You know, if you blink and you think about them spinning the other way, you spin one way and then the other. And then those are used to be her cat ears a few times, which is pretty neat. Also, just in general, in all of these still shots, there's some really careful work to put text into the scenes. And I think they are working with still frames, so it's not that hard. But there are some really cool ones, like the way that these bits of text have a shadow on this bench. It's pretty neat. Yeah, some pretty neat stuff. Some interesting imagery here as well with train routes along the limbs. Wonder what that's about. It's interesting. And what was it? I call it Tsubasa body. Okay. Then we get here. The girl with extraordinary wings. Class rep among class reps, the class rep chosen by God. Good at her studies and popular in her class. Has a habit of helping people. Couldn't believe what I learned about her family during the Golden Week. She was enchanted by a cat. Just like I was attacked by a demon, the oddity had a good reason. Probably the dissension and distortion in the family that brought her up. Still, she pulled me up from the deepest pit. So he feels like he owes her a lot. We saw those cards a little bit earlier. I'll never forget that, no matter what happens. Cool. Cool. So there's a bit of duty there. Man, the way he's grinning. This is such a creeper grin, Araragi. What the hell? Runs into Nadeko. We continue using his little cowlick hair flip to emote. Or in this case, be a question mark. Kambaru taken off like a rocket as usual. This was very cute. Probably going to read all those boys' love novels. Yep. Okay. They make some obscure references, and it's pretty cute. And then she's giving him back the the clothes, and he's freaked. He's out of it. He's a goner. And then, yes. That's perfect. Okay, so he questions whether we find out that they stayed the night together. He questions whether Shinobu talked to her, told her anything. I wonder what he was thinking there, like what he could have expected her to say. It's an interesting one, but it gives us a little bit more backstory and detail on Shinobu and that whole situation. And then we get this amazing kaleidoscopic background. This is one of my favorite sequences of backgrounds in the show so far. Like, it's just it's frames of stuff that we've seen before, I'm pretty sure. Like this, I believe, is from the OP. But then they're split and kaleidoscoped into these triangles, and it just looks fantastic all the way through. I love it. We get this bit of emotion in the feet and legs as she shuffles her weight back and forth. Some more obscure references, no clue. And then this sequence, what the hell is this? All right, okay. So he reaches out. For her face. And at first I thought he was doing something stupid, like trying to grab her hair. And he might be. I don't really understand this at all. But then we see this as shadow. and his hand reaching out in the shadows. And then the shadow grows and reaches out almost on its own, but he's doing it too, lifting up her skirt. What? But then we never actually addressed this, so I'm guessing this doesn't actually happen. And this is just in Aragi's head. And then his little freak out about it is weird to her because she didn't actually like experience any of that. He was just fantasizing. That's my guess, but I don't really know. Okay, so she takes off once Hanakawa comes around, and this whole conversation is colored by the fact that he's carrying the bloomers in school swimsuit. She says her lines again. Say that you were doing something, going with Sanchiko Hara. That's correct. And what was this? The rumors and such. Righto. You have to deal with the perspectives of outsiders. He wonders if Hanakawa has a boyfriend, and then as he's about to ask her, boom, headache inbound. And he freaks a little bit because he knows he's got this flashback. First act, last act, flashback. We get the same flashback music that we got in the first episode flashback, the one with Shinobu and all that stuff. Cool. Then she turns into a kitty cat. Why is she brilliantly glowing white on the outside if she is the black cat, as Oshino says? Like, I recognize, and I'm cool with it, more than cool with it. Like, I recognize that it's what's on the inside that matters, and it's the motivations and purpose and all that stuff. But what causes her outward physical appearance to become white? What's the reason for that? I don't know. Is it like to metaphorically mirror the way that she is in real life, that she puts on this glowing front and then has darkness within? Could be something like that. A tailless cat, one that doesn't leave anything behind. A dark, evil version. The result of all of that stress. When they dealt with it before, it was Shinobu, who appeared kind of out of nowhere, took her down. For the time being. But now, Aragi is suspicious that maybe, just maybe, this is happening again. And so am I. So, let's pull up episode 12 and see what happens. See what suspicions are confirmed or denied. Got it? Got it up? A quick break. I'll be right back. All right, episode 12, and I got topped off my tea. I wouldn't want to run out, would we? So, I've got episode 12 up. It's at 0 seconds. There will be a beep beep timer right here. I heart Hitagi. Got her hair up. We haven't seen her around in a while. Kenapa? I wonder how that got there. Will you know? Hmm. Any complaint? No. Any questions? Okay. Or so I thought. Okay. Oh. Oh, it's stable again. What? Not gonna complain about hearing stable again. It's the best. Okay. Sleep Treasure. Part 2. Oh, okay then. Who's driving? Oh, okay. She has a driver. Okay. This is a little terrifying. Oh. This isn't awkward. You can't get out, dude. Oh, he might be able to survive that. Is it not really your dad? Appreciate it. Ah. 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 Oh, it is her father. No, 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 no. Oh, a little droop. Yeah. uh-huh. He's completely non-responsive so far. Yeah, I'm a little scared. A little terrified. All right. Yeah. Better have done well. Hmm. Hmm. What were the two words that we alternated between at the beginning? Fall and pressure? I think so. Yeah. Fair enough. Uh-oh. By saying pervy shit? Got him. Yeah, you can't win. Okay, we're parking. Okay. Yeah, what kind of date is this? Eh. Please no. I hate those. Uh-huh. And dad's a cool dude. Aw. Keeping his face out of frame completely. So we do see his face just this once, but from outside. Interesting. Yeah. Give yourself more credit. Damn. Same line, but with a different context now. Yeah. Okay, where are we going? Have I ever once answered your question so far? I guess not. Hmm. Whoa. Okay. And the okay. Okay. And we reprise it with a piano only. Okay. It's beyond clever. It's really good. I give them all to you, huh? You're gonna get them though. Huh? Fair enough. Aww. Going back to that. Yep. This recontextualizes the whole ED. Oh my god, that's so good. $30. Quizzo! Okay. All right, so a couple things to that I just want to check really quick about this episode. The first one is really interesting. I'm not sure how to read it. This entire episode is letterboxed, which is what I'm calling it when it's fully widescreen the entire way through. Now, previously we've been using that kind of CinemaScope widescreen to indicate flashback or backstory or in-head thoughts type of stuff. Mostly flashbacks. So I'm curious exactly when this is occurring compared to the rest of the timeline. If it being letterboxed actually has some meaning. It's got a purpose visually. But why is it used so extensively throughout this episode? And by so extensively, I mean literally the entire episode is letterbox like this with black bars top and bottom. As though it's framing it in the past. But I don't think it is. I feel like this is present. Present day, present time. In any case, we get the luxury of turning our gaze toward Senjogahara and Araragi and their romance, their relationship, that stuff we haven't really focused on for a while. So it's interesting that we're doing this right after we have the introduction to, like, charting the course of this arc. Episode 1 is focused on Hanakawa and the potential that she's transforming into a cat again, and giving us the backstory on how that first happened. You know, we knew that there was something that had happened with Araragi, an oddity, and Hanakawa. We didn't really know what. Now we know what it is, and there's suspicion that it's occurring again. We also have inklings of ideas as to what's causing it and what things are going on in Hanakawa's life to bring it about. Specifically, her terrible relationship with her not parents. So that was the first episode of the arc. Second episode of the arc does not touch that at all in any sort of specific way. At all. It's entirely Senjogahara, Araragi, and the father. Heck, I believe that they're the only people who have speaking lines in this episode. I don't think there's literally anyone else. Yeah, just those three. Okay. So then, as for content of episode itself, cute conversation which sets up Senjogahara dialogue quirk, which is then called back to at the very end of the episode, where she starts with like a command, "We're going on a date," or a declarative statement, "We're going on a date," and then plays with the idea of being a little bit less forceful with it. "Shall we go on a date? Why don't we go on a date? Nah, we're going on a date." So that's great. I think that's a good encapsulation of her character as far as we know it so far. Like, she is straightforward and forceful, but she's kind of trying to take other people's desires into account, but she also still just wants to get what she wants. I like her. I like her a lot. In any case, he arrives. Off we go. We sort of whoosh through here. So yeah, he's so excited and thrilled. We get this frame of a photo with a drawn-on watch. That's pretty neat, pretty weird. And then we sort of Edgar Wright it through this sequence. Boom, 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 and we're in the car and we're off, and it's awkward. But it's not awkward in the way that he thinks it is. He thinks it's really awkward being around her father. And the fact that her father doesn't say anything or turn to face us or give us any emotional anything to go off of sort of helps build that feeling of distrusting the father or being afraid of the father as they're conversing. And everything that he says is colored by this perception that he has to act properly in front of her father. We see him in the mirror above. We see the side of his head, and that's all we really see. He tries to get out on the freeway. That little moment is so perfect. Let me out. Let me out. You're not talking at all. And she's still playing with him. What are you up to? What are you scheming? Oh, nothing. The wicked bad child. I wonder if there's more of a bit of wordplay there. I think so. She lists these 3 things that are her reasons for liking him. Nice, cute, and like a prince who would rescue me whenever I'm in trouble, which is a bit of a gag to it because she goes on and on and on. 2 one-word answers and then that. It's cute. She did call him Komi, though. That's not cool. Talks about the exam stuff. Continues to poke and prod him. Before that, metaphorically, about the exams and stuff, and joking about using her last name, her family name. Then she starts to get kind of handsy. So we do talk about Hanakawa a little bit. And what we talk about is her scores on exams. So it's sort of a fluid lead in from talking about Aragi's scores on exams and Senjogahara's willingness to tutor him and study with him. And that leads us into talking about Hanakawa, who's the sort of academic superstar of the school, right? But Senjogahara muses how much stress, how much pressure does that put her under if there's an expectation that she'll always get perfect scores. If there's this idea that if Hanakawa doesn't ace it, the test is probably the problem. Just how great is that pressure? Hmm. And then she plays with this idea of perversion. I'll be so pervy you'll see Kambaru as pure and innocent. But we as the audience don't actually get to hear what she says. Araragi does. And we only get to experience his reactions, which are the reddening of his ear, the absolute freaking out of his little head tail, and the bite. Oh. Yep. And he's dead. So then we stop. She leaves them alone. And here we shatter our expectations of the father, right? Workaholic dad who's going to say something like, you better take good care of my daughter or I'm going to do something to ya. You know? But instead, what we get is exactly what he's expecting. Take good care of my daughter. Just kidding. Just kidding, dude. By the way, I haven't been a very good father to her, and I can tell, even as not a very good father to her, that you being in her life is a good thing for her. So thanks for being a good dude. And, you know, if she chose you, then I'm all for it. And, like, have a great time, kids. Parent of the Show award so far. And we still refuse to show his face. It's interesting. He sees changes in her. We do see his face from here, but it's still, it might as well be anyone. Obscured as it is by the brightness of the headlights. I don't think it matters that it was me. Itagi saved herself. I saw her through it is all. It's actually, this reminds me quite a bit of something that happened recently in my Sangatsu watch through, which is the main character was trying to help a major supporting character through some social difficulties at school, some bullying. And the issues are eventually resolved, but through the school system, like through an administrator actually taking action. And the main character isn't actually able to fix the problem as such. But what he does is, over the course of, I don't know, a dozen or so episodes, he's constantly there for her. He's constantly listening, constantly trying to be something, be a positive force in her life. And when he finally finds out that the situation has been resolved, he's hard on himself. He feels like he should have done more, like he was supposed to be her savior. And she nips that in the bud and says, what are you talking about? You are already, basically. You already are. All these times that you've listened to me and supported me are more than enough. Give yourself more credit. So I can't help but think about that here. And it is good enough. And this is a heartbreaking set of lines here. I didn't do my job as a father. Imagine that as a person, as like a real human being, as a character, or instead of as a character. I didn't do my job as a father. How that must weigh on you. Oof. This also creates an interesting. I was gonna call it a parallel, but it's more like a perpendicular. it's the opposite of a parallel between Senjogahara's father, who, you know, she has a broken home. Her mother isn't there anymore, and her father is distant and a workaholic. But he's aware of his flaws and wants to, like, wants the best for her. And that could be an interesting parallel slash perpendicular to Hanakawa's family, who are not the best parents, clearly, not her real parents, clearly. And perhaps there will be something interesting in their own view of themselves. They're a bit less self-aware than this guy is, because this guy, while maybe he hasn't been there for her as a parent, it's hard to dislike him, and it's hard to, well, it's hard to chastise him for his actions, or like, it's easy to feel for him. And I don't think that Hanakawa's parents will fit that same mold. I don't feel like they're going to be as sympathetic. But we'll have to see. You're the man she chose, you must be the right one. God damn, that's cool. And then she's back. Thanks for bringing us here. That thank you means a lot, you know? This little thing that he's able to do for her, drive her and her boyfriend out to the woods, means a lot. Thanks, Dad. He turns off the lights and he just sits. Throughout this scene of them on the blanket, Aragi's face is a bit rounder, a bit smoother, a bit more innocent and childlike. You can really see it right here. Oh, where is it? I just saw it. There. Yeah, a little bit smoother, a little bit more childlike, a little bit younger looking, a little bit more innocent. Really cool scene of the stars, and then she starts listing them in the same order of the lyrics of the ED. The summer triangle that you pointed out. And at the same time, the piano. Yeah. Fantastic. And then her voice sort of fades out, and he just thinks of her. Just super sweet. These are the things that I can give you. The ability to help you study. A pervy junior, the starry sky, a brusque father. That's all I can give you. I was nearly raped by a chauvinist pig. She's got things to deal with. There are barriers to physical affection in this relationship, and that's okay. They're both willing to deal with that, however it needs to be. I'm glad if I caught your eye because of that misfortune. This is just so sweet and fucking wholesome. I'll do something about it, so wait for me. I offer you this starry sky. And they profess their love once again. He loves everything about her, and she loves those three things about him. I'm happy. Took nothing from my lips, so we're gonna kiss. Shall we? How about we? Nah, we're gonna kiss. Which is a great callback to the beginning. And that was how today became a day to remember for both of us. And we don't see it. And then the ED plays over this starry, beautiful starry sky. Glorious. And completely, as far as I know, unrelated to the rest of this arc. So far. Okay. I'm intrigued. Super intrigued. We've got measurable progress in Senjo Gahara and Aragi's relationship, and some weird stuff going on around Hanekawa. And given that these are two elements in the same arc, I'm wondering how they're going to collide, and if they're going to collide, and what that will cause. Probably some interesting stuff. But we're going to have to wait till next week to find out, because it is about time for me to wrap up this episode, this reaction video to Bakemonogatari episodes 11 and 12. So let's do that. I've been Teeaboo. This has been Bake. I hope that you've enjoyed it as much as I have. I hope you leave thoughts and stuff down in the comments. Yeah. And I hope to catch you next week in the next one. Peace.